So, how did your observation of the horse's boundaries help you to become, what did you want?
What did I want? Clarity. I just felt like this is enough now. When I got closer to them, I felt like, yeah, if I go closer, I don't think they're up for that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know. I think, like I said to you before, when we did it, you and I, it was the physical feeling, that whole, the gut feeling makes it real, because I can physically feel it. It's not a head thing, and as soon as I go into my head, I start going, what? And when I let go of that, I did feel clear. I did doubt myself though. I did start, look, they're doing their thing now.
Go.
I did doubt myself at times. I went, oh, maybe I should go closer. And then I felt into it and I felt, no, this is right. This is okay. This is safe. We're all safe. This is okay. If I was to go further forwards, they might not like it, and I'm not wanting that right now.
Go.
Thing is, the animally person in me kind of wants a cuddle. So it feels quite odd for me.
But this is not. This is about you feeling
what
safe.
We're doing.
Yes, this is about feeling safe to get those cuddles.
Yeah.
This is about feeling safe to stand your ground.
Yeah.
It's about feeling safe to be clear and to act on that clarity.
Yeah.
He is observing the boundary that you're setting.
It actually feels quite emotional.
Yeah, he's observing the boundary that you're setting.
Do you know why it feels emotional?
Cool.
Because people don't observe the boundaries that I try to set. I'm not the best at setting boundaries, as you know, but I actually feel heard.
Yeah. So it's practice. This is a practice. Yeah. So he's now.
Oh, my rib's doing something now. Well, he's totally over.
He has totally overstepped.
Yeah.
He has.
But I wasn't really ready then. So look, I went emotional and vulnerable and started getting.
But then also, what did you do? You also.
Hello.
You took action. And what was the action that you took? What did you do?
Well, I used this, but I did go towards him as well.
But then also.
What do you mean?
Well, he was coming towards you, and what did you? Rather than staying there, and
I got safe.
You put yourself in a position where you felt.
Where I felt safe.
Yeah.
That's pretty massive.
You didn't stay there, like in that corner. You didn't stay there. You moved.
Yeah.
You put yourself into a position that felt safe. And although this one's come up, how you feel safer with him?
I do right now. But do you know though, I think it's only because he was pushing boundaries earlier. I think it's literally just that.
So
there's not really a reason to feel any safer with him.
No, not necessarily, no. But the thing is, so what did he show you around setting boundaries? What exactly did he show you?
He showed me how it's hard to put into words. So I'm just gonna spill it out and see what happens. So I felt like I was I put a boundary in place, and it felt like he was respecting the boundary, which gave me a feeling of what it's like to have a boundary that I have put in place respected. And then he wanted to overstep that, and it's almost like he wanted to go, yeah, and now what are you going to do when people overstep the boundaries? What do you do then? Because people will overstep boundaries. And then I went, right, well, I'm going to keep myself safe. Basically, situations can be shitty, but you can still keep yourself feeling all right within that shitty situation.
Yes.
I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Yes. And boundaries are going to be, you are constantly setting boundaries. Okay, so you set a boundary.
Yes, and it's constant. It's not a one. That's also another thing. It's all sort of ever flowing, ever changing, ever evolving.
Ever evolving. So just because you set it once doesn't mean to say that.
So that's another thing. Because I feel like when I try and set a boundary, I then expect people to then remember that boundary. Actually, you need to keep setting the boundary, because that's life. That's what happens. Nothing is like static.
Ever changing, ever moving, always.
And that's a good little reminder, because I'm not always a massive fan of change. I quite like things to be, because I feel safe.
Yeah.
But I guess if I learn to put my boundaries in place, I can still feel safe with it changing.
Yeah. Because
and
it just
that
means
kind of felt like then that was like a real step to feeling that. This is the thing with this work. As I've said before, as you've said before, it's all very well talking about it. It's all in your head, isn't it? But I felt it. When you feel it, it kind of goes in, like on a body level, a cellular level almost.
Okay, so that brings me to, what are you taking away?
Well, that is clarity. Isn't it?
So, can you put it into a statement that we can properly embody?
When I know my own boundaries, and I don't know what the word is. What's the word, like when you put them across?
Set them.
That's it.
Yeah.
When I know my own boundaries and I set my own boundaries, and I know that those boundaries can be tested, I can still feel safe.
Is that what you want to say?
Yeah.
What about when those boundaries are? Oh yeah, okay. So
So I can feel safe within the pushing of it, because I feel like, because I felt when it felt wrong, and I acted upon it, and so it's kind of translating that into normal life.
So the key thing is the action.
Tuning into my gut and then acting upon it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's about also being able to act upon it. So whenever
it's very much about being able to act upon it.
So when you set a boundary, there is always going to be an action if that boundary is pushed and violated. So therefore, it's about being prepared to take that action.
Yeah.
It's not about just setting the boundary and if, oh well, they didn't listen, they didn't hear. They're not always going to listen. They're not always going to hear. So therefore, there's going to be a point at which you need to enforce that boundary so that you can continue to feel safe.
Yeah.
And sometimes that action is not always going to be something that you're actually going to want to do.
No, that's a massive thing. As we spoke about it, I don't want to upset people, and there's all of that.
No, but
so I tiptoe around stuff.
And then you feel.
But then my boundary's still been violated, and I still feel shit.
So
it's not helping the situation at all.
So let's bring this through now. So what are we taking away? Let's really hone that. Remember that feeling when you set that boundary with Duke and he respected that boundary.
I felt powerful, actually. Yeah, I don't feel powerful very often, so that was big.
Okay.
And confident.
Powerful and confident.
And clear.
And clear. So can we use that as the statement, because that little section there where he actually respected that boundary, that's what we want to really embody.
Yes.
So give me your statement again. Don't worry.
So when I set a boundary and take action upon that boundary, I don't know what you'd say. Within that, I don't know what you'd say.
What about being prepared to take action?
Yeah, okay. So when I set a boundary and I am prepared to take action in order to reinforce that boundary, I feel a sense of safety, power, and clarity.
So if I take that statement, when I set a boundary and I'm prepared to take action, I feel a sense of safety, power, and clarity. And I drop that down the top of your head. Where does it land?
My feet.
In your feet.
It went here and then it went fizzle down to my feet.
Cool. And how strongly was it?
That literally felt like it was fizzling.
That's really kind of like getting in there. And how strong was that fizzling feeling?
I'd say about 8.
Okay.
Pretty strong.
Okay. I'm going to stop the video now.
Okay.